please welcome Dr. Rajalakshmi, the coordinator of SAMAROH. Gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Malaysia. Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, everybody. It's my proud privilege to be the moderator of this 2 days conference. I, Vishalini Sridharan, would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of the organizing committee. We appreciate all for taking time to join us for today's conference. Thanks once again. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now call upon Dr. Gamal to evoke the Almighty. Please welcome Dr. Gamal.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم ارزقنا حسن التوكل عليك ودوام السعي إلى رضاك وجنبنا وساوس الشيطان وقنا شر الإنس والجان. اللهم هب لنا حقيقة الإيمان وارزقنا الخير الحلال. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا وقلبا خاشعا. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا تفرقا معصوما. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
Thank you, Dr. Gamal, for your invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now call upon Dr. Hajah Bibi Florina Abdullah, Pro-Chancellor of Lincoln University College, to deliver her speech. Please welcome Dato.
of ceremony this morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning and welcome to all of you to our little conference this morning. Our PC and CEO of Lincoln University College, Professor Dr. Amia Bohnik. And also I would like to address Professor Vicky Shari, Vice President of SSIM, and Professor Raja Laksmi, Coordinator of SAMAROH, and Mr. S. Chaudhary of Vigilance, CEO of Vigilance Medical Supply. Okay. And then Professor V.G. Chari of the Civil Institute of Management India. And all of you, my friends from across the miles, I understand that there are a few countries here, from Myanmar, from Indonesia, from the Gulf country, from Egypt, and and many others. So as usual, we always like to network actually. So it's fact a few times in a year that we try to touch base and to see how things are going on, and especially so in the world of information technology, the world of digital. So everything is a little bit easy. So as a Pro-Chancellor, I'm very pleased that to organize again another conference. Actually, it's our second international conference on recent trends and business and entrepreneurial ventures for this 2 days, the month of February, early of the year. And at this beautiful Grand Blue Wave Hotel in Shah Alam, Kuala Lumpur. And I just hope that all of you has arrived a little bit early and seen a little bit of our place. Otherwise, maybe after this conference, you can just pop in and see how things are in Kuala Lumpur. We do have good transportation services actually. We have the rails, many types of railways. I mean, you have the trains, monorail, and things like that. And also we have quite good services which can bring you from one place to another. Actually, I'm very happy to address this digital transformation. And everybody knows that it has made a very positive contribution to the world of business and management. And which actually can bring all our distinguished academic and also academia, the researchers and also the entrepreneurs, as well as the young and aspiring business personnel from all over the world, which can participate in this conference. Actually, I just came out from one conference. We call it Niaga. This is just a little sister to ASEAN. ASEAN has 10 countries where I think most of us here are members. And then, of course, BEEF is the Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. This is bilateral, or no, not bilateral, it's multilateral trade among these 4 countries in the East. That is why they call it Niaga. And actually, I was in the cluster of the health and also of the education and business. So we have actually adopted a few resolutions which we wanted to do, because from this we can just move on. And one of them actually, because this, they want to make a corridor. So which means it will involve a lot of things like digital and things like that, so that it's easier for us to do the trade. So we have adopted a few. Among them actually is the maritime, which is very much needed, maritime, which can facilitate businesses and things like that among these 4 countries. And also we have also adopted a healthy city concept. And we try to economize, we try to look at things in an economic way, actually, when you look at things like that, because every country wants to ensure that, their country, especially in terms of the GDP, is good. So everybody is very much onto it. And of course, we are also looking at things like agripreneur, that is agriculture entrepreneur, and also organic agriculture. So because basically we are very rural country, and then we are looking at agriculture, what is the latest trend, and how this sort of seminar today, for example, can be linked into it. That is why what we are trying to do is that whatever we are exposed to, we try to maximize the use of it, the usage of it, so that it will benefit everyone. So, digitalization actually is a very hot topic in the business world right now, and many businesses are nowadays transforming online to update the management and day-to-day running of operation. So the change is being driven by a new wave of technology that permits companies of all shapes and sizes to be more strategic and well organized. So this is all about good leadership, good organized, because even if you have all this technology, without someone to read it properly, it will not work as well. So it is actually a combination of all. It has to be a very professional, an element of professionalism has to be there, and also, of course, a very great teamwork. So this movement is actually set to continue as more businesses recognize the benefits of digitalization and move to capitalize on them. So in our conference today, we aim to address this topic to gain significant insight for establishing and maintaining a successful company in the digital age. So the conference will help building linkages between aspiring entrepreneurs, investors, financiers, and also established corporates, which will help them in their profession. So this is our hope in this 2 days conference. We also look forward to hearing from the academics and the researchers, because whatever you have, it can be, like nowadays in intern, even if any PhD candidate bring their paper, it's not only for publication, but it is also for commercialization. So we are looking at many things, it's like killing one bird with many stones. With one stone, many birds. Okay, I want to see whether you all are listening to me. Okay, and then, so actually, we also look forward to hearing from this group of people in the academia and the researchers. And through your thoughts and recent market research findings, hopefully that we can come to this conclusion of what is the best, how do we move from here. So we bring to you a range of topics. Actually, if you look at it, it's very interesting, including business IT placement, cloud computing, business sustainability, which is very important, small and medium-sized enterprises, and digital entrepreneurship. So these are the modern words nowadays. These are the things that, whether you like it or not, we have to be in trends and be part of the changes that is happening in the world. And changes, as usual, is very dynamic, especially in the world of digital information. It's very dynamic. The next thing you know, there's some new ideas, some new trends. As researchers, academians come together, and come together and do something about it. In fact, for today, we were just talking, actually among my friends here, about research collaboration, okay, which is good, because in fact we can even do that not only between two countries, but also between many countries. So it will be like linkages of, researchers doing something in common, with a common goal, which is good for everybody, good for every country. So, so I hope, and I really invite everybody to participate, and I just hope that the deliberation that we have for these 2 days will be of use for everybody, and of use for you to make, you can utilize it, and you can even make use of it in your own country. That is our hope every time we do a conference. It's not simply to hear, but to look at it and change all these ideas, all these theories into practical terms. So I wish you all the best for these 2 days. And as I said, take a little time to see our beautiful Malaysia as well, okay? So that, it's like, when you come for a conference as well, when you come for a conference, but you also do a little bit of sightseeing. Because every exposure, I tell you, my friends, is educational. So to me, whether you're just going up the mountain, or you're doing shopping, or you're looking at the computers, everything is educational to me. So once again, good luck and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dato, for your excellent remarks. Dear all, please put your hands together for the Vice Chancellor of Lincoln University College, Professor Dr. Amya Bhaumik, to deliver his speech. Please welcome Dr.
Assalamualaikum. Minglaba to my Myanmar friends. Namaskaram to my friends from India and good morning to all of you. Our Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Hajami Farina Abdullah, Professor Vijay, the Vice President of Sipsivani Institute of Management, Mr. Chaudhary, the CEO of Vigilance, Professor Lajalakshmi, the coordinator for the program. Thank you very much for coming over to Malaysia, truly Asia, as well as the 5-star institution in Malaysia, Lincoln University College. I'm very privileged to be here this morning in front of you to share few things what we practice in action. We often identify the educational institution in terms of physical infrastructure. But there are other infrastructure which is very important for educational institution to grow. What I call emotional infrastructure, intellectual infrastructure, and digital infrastructure, and then we need physical infrastructure. The educational institution to be proclaimed very good or ranking, not much of physical infrastructure. It is how much you have intellectual infrastructure, that's most important. I'm sure those who come for Myanmar, the old traditional university, Rangoon University, may not have good building, but you have fantastic professors there, and that's intellectual infrastructure. So as some of you come from India, very good Indian institutions have building may or may not be there, but you have fantastic intellectual infrastructure. Lincoln is a combination of all these 4 infrastructure, but at Lincoln we emphasize on 2 very important infrastructure, what we call emotional infrastructure and intellectual infrastructure, and then we look at digital infrastructure. Physical infrastructure is just in terms of assisting the organization. Sipsivani Institute of Management is part of our emotional infrastructure, intellectual infrastructure. Lincoln operates in 30 over countries where we have offshore programs, we have many partners. Sipsivani Institute of Management from Hyderabad, one of the good business schools in India, and we have partnership, and they wanted to have an experience in Malaysia that how jointly can be organized. And this is we call emotional infrastructure. The emotional infrastructure that how you help emotionally with love, affection, without thinking any other return. 2 years back, I was in Berkeley University. There were 8 Nobel laureates as professors, and they were sitting with one of my research students next door, and 8 of them went to my student and said, "Hey guy, we are the next door. Anytime you need, just drop by." And this is nothing but emotional infrastructure. My student did not need their help, these Nobel laureates. But the Nobel laureates walked to my student's room and offered that, "Hey, I am there for you. You may or may not need, but whenever you need, you drop by to my room." And that's the emotional support. And that kind of emotional infrastructure we need to build in our academic world. It's not that I am a CEO, Vice Chancellor, I sit down to my room and people have to drop by to my room. No. I got to practice that, hey, I need to walk down and give him or her comfort that I am there for you if you need. And that's emotional infrastructure, very important in our organizational life. So as in a business world, the current business world, this emotional infrastructure has become so important than the physical infrastructure. Now all these emotional infrastructure, intellectual infrastructure, digital infrastructure, it has been there before even so-called globalization happened. 100 years back it was there. But 100 years back, what was there? It was more in terms of religion. We read all types of religious scriptures, but we practice within certain four worlds. The current dilemma in the business world, we forget, or very few people practice that 100 years old emotional infrastructure, intellectual infrastructure into the current world, current daily lives. I'd like to give you a very, very classic example which I have experienced this year, first week of January. All of you are fully aware that China is dominating the world. China have lots of products. Everywhere you go in the world, any equipments, including this video camera, you will find made in China. Now, how it could happen? Why other countries cannot do this? I'm sure all of you heard Confucius, name of Confucius. a great philosopher, 400 BC, when he was government administrator. He saw the society was in chaos. He came up with 5 important strategies that the society must follow. Out of the 5, 3 important strategy, what you call in Chinese, Li, Zi, Ren. In summary, that your society is the ultimate God. And whatever you do, you treat as if you are worshipping God, whichever God you believe into. And be sincere, be loyal. Do not be traitor to yourself. The Chinese society literally follow the Confucius way of life into their daily action. So look at that Confucius philosophical theory in 400 BC, what he proposed, and today the Chinese community is fully practicing this, and they have become fantastic entrepreneurs. In one of the Confucius note, he said, when you are born as a human life, you have already born in a full of risk. So since you were born in a risk, in an unknown environment, so our life is full of risk. And Chinese, their entire life is nothing but risk takers and real gamblers. I'm sure all of you know they love to gamble. Anything they do. And that's the symbol of entrepreneur. All over the world, as I go along, everybody will be talking, hey, we have to create entrepreneur. Now by talking, you cannot create any entrepreneur. Look at how Chinese has created entrepreneur by applying Confucius theory into action. That what is proposed, that our life is full of risk. An entrepreneur is nothing but a risk takers. Last January, beginning, I was in China. Name of the place called Sanya, the capital of Hainan Island of China. And 2 days before, my friend called me and saying that he will be waiting for me at the airport. And I said, hey, you don't come to the airport because I will be arriving around 2 a.m. and it's cold. I will find my way. And he refused. I said, I insist, you shouldn't come. I'll get a cab and go to the hotel. Finally, I prevailed on him. I landed. There was nobody could speak with me even a single word in English, but I managed to get a taxi. I reached the hotel around 2:45. Big hotel in a big plaza. And I saw one lady, one man was sitting at the reception. I approached, gave my passport. I was trying to make a conversation. They gave me the key and I said, how do I go to my room? Nothing. As if I was talking to wood. Not even any symbol. So I repeatedly said, how do I go to my room? 3 times. No response at all. But all of a sudden, I heard from below up my knee, "Hi Amir, how are you?" I had a real shock. Shock, not just listening, "Hi Amir, how are you?" but the voice. The voice was just like my most favorite person's voice. I got a shock. I thought, hey, how did that person come here? And I looked at a small robot and waving hand. Don't worry, Amir. I'm here to guide you. Please follow me. And the robot started to walk. Amir, you must be tired. You left your house morning at 8, and now in China it's almost 3 o'clock. But don't worry, we will make you comfortable. We have booked your room 2729, fantastic room, and we know you like to see the ocean view from your room, and your room is facing ocean view. I was listening and I was amused at the same time. I have always curious mind that how did they get such data that what I like, the voice, robot was working. I reached in front of the lift. I thought I have to press the lift door. The moment I pressed the lift door, the robot said, "Amir, strictly follow me." I had no other choice, waited. The next door of the lift opened. The robot went inside. "Amir, please follow me." I followed. Before the door of the lift closed, "Amir, you are tired. I'm going to sing a song for you. And hopefully that song will make you comfortable." Before the door started to close, my surprise, Robert started to sing song which I sing every morning, and that song was from Swami Vivekananda's song. My whole body was really shivering. The door closed and the robot was singing. The song finished, door opened. Robert got out from the lift. Amia, please follow me. Very gentle voice. I followed. Then Robert started to tell me, Amia, you have an appointment tomorrow at 9 a.m. I will come to your room tomorrow at 8 o'clock to wake you up. I was amused. I reached on the 27th floor, room 29. The moment we reached, Robert said, please open the door. I said to myself, the moment I open the door, I must bring the robot inside the room and do some little research. So I opened the door, I left my luggage, turned around, robot is gone. I said to myself, dare not go anywhere because do not know language, do not know where I will land up. I closed the door. Instead of sleeping, I started to do my little research. Who has done this? Robot is not a problem, but look at this. How artificial intelligence of my personal characteristics has been put into this a little gadget. To my surprise, the guy who did this, he started this kind of work at the age of 23, 5 years back, in 2014. He was studying dentistry. He dropped dentistry because his mother passed away out of dental disease. So he wanted to do something. So now he started with something with dental business. He lost miserably in 2012 and 2013. Miserably. He was almost beggar. Today, now he is 28 years old. He is worth of billions of dollars. I had managed to have a chat with him through the interpreter. That how did he come up with this? And what made him to do this? You know what he told me? He said, when my mother passed away, I read Confucius literature. And that literature brought him today where he is at the age of 28 years. And he owns billions of dollars of artificial intelligence. Look at how he has applied the Confucius literature in his life, and today he's a fantastic entrepreneur. And I believe we can do the same thing in every community. In Indian philosophy, in Gita, you have a verse Karmanne Badi Karaste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana. You have a right to work, but you have no right for fruits or actions. This verse is not just simply a religion. We need to put this verse from Gita into action. Gita into action in terms as entrepreneur. Their life is exactly should be this, that they should not give up under any circumstances. The entrepreneurs, the major hurdles, the major barrier is not the physical infrastructure, is not the digital infrastructure, it is not the lack of intellectual infrastructure, but entrepreneur fails because of lack of emotional infrastructure. And that emotional infrastructure is nothing but how you can sustain your positive thinking. If you have that positive thinking, you can conquer the world. In Gita, chapter 6, verses 5 also explains that you are your best friend and you are your best enemy. When Arjuna said he doesn't want to go for war, Krishna then said, whom are you going to kill? They are all dead. But this idea cannot be kept only at the religion place. We need to act on to this, that you are the best friend of yourself and you are the best enemy of yourself. So entrepreneur, whether he or she wants to progress, it all depends upon him. I'm sure in Buddhism also you have the same verses as well. To take it further, today all of you know President Trump, isn't it? Of course, I don't look at him, but when he was standing for election in 2016, the whole world said that he is going to lose. Am I correct? But he was the only one guy kept on saying, no, I will be the president. See the example of Gita. He was his best friend, the positive thinking. Leave aside other factors. Take this positive thinking effect. So as we are in the global business world today, we are academicians, most of us linked with academic institution. We need to inculcate these philosophical ideas, religious ideas should not be enclosed only in certain places, but it should be practiced in our daily life. And we as academicians, we have students, we need to teach them, train them. How do we apply those virtues into our younger generation's life? I am very pleased about our Lincoln staff. We try our best to inculcate those ideas into practice, and that is why Lincoln, the emotional infrastructure is huge. Intellectual infrastructure is huge. Digital infrastructure we are building up. Physical infrastructure we don't bother much. And as such, because of those practices, we have 5-star institution in Malaysia out of 72 such institutions. Only 2 institutions have obtained 5-star status. Lincoln is truly President Abraham Lincoln's philosophy. Practice, trying to practice. I often say to my students that when you come to Lincoln, you should be a job creator, not as job seekers. When I go to Myanmar, I take my MBA class. I often tell them that if you come to the class just for getting a certificate and seek for job or increasing salary, don't come to the class, go and print Lincoln certificate, I'll be very happy. Don't waste time and money. You come to Lincoln, I want to see that you are a job creator and not as a job seekers. That is our Lincoln motto. And why we do this? We try to practice a Confucius, all types of philosophers' philosophy. So friends, I know you are here, the conference, we will be presenting papers. We will have today and tomorrow lots of intellectual deliberations, intellectual interactions, but we must remember what is our ultimate goal as a human being. Our ultimate goal is to have peace and happiness. Our ultimate goal, when we leave this world, as I said always, this world is a transit camp. At the transit airport, you can predict when the flight is taking off. But human life, the transit world, no one can predict when my flight is going to take off. So before the flight takes off, my friends, let's do something in the society. As Swami Vivekananda said, before you leave this world, keep your mark, but do something for the society, that when you leave, you carry those good deeds. So let's we academicians, we have a huge responsibility. None other profession has that such responsibility that whatever we do, we keep in mind that our society would be the beneficiary. Work is worship. The moment this Confucius literature, Swami Vivekananda's education is the manifestation of a divinity which exists in each and every human being, and we academicians has the responsibility to manifest. So with this, I thank you all coming over and hope we can make our philosophers' theory into our action. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amir, for your wonderful thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's call upon Professor Dr. V.G. Chari, Assistant Vice President, Shiva Shivani, and Institute of Management to deliver his speech. Please welcome Prof.
Namaste, good morning. The dignitaries on the dais, Madam, the Pro Vice Chancellor of Lincoln University, Dr. B.B. Florina Abdullah, and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Amir Bomi, the keynote speaker, S. Chaudhary, and my colleague, Dr. Rajalakshmi, and the intellectual gathering here, which is a mix of both learned, upcoming, and desirous people in every walk of life, or whatever sphere of activity we seek to pursue in this academic world. Basically, we at SSIL, Siva Simani Institute of Management, organize a lot of activities, and most of our events start with yes, because I'm trying to explain you the word. Why this SAMAROH? All our activities which we do annually, which is a convention for us, like we have Samanvai and SAMAROH, Smruti, and so on and so forth. Most of our activities start with yes, and that's the reason why we named it as Samanvai. Probably those of you who are conversant with Sanskrit or Hindi may know that Samanvai is a gathering, a festival, an occasion, an event. Okay. Now it's definitely a milestone for us for two reasons. The reason number one is every year we conduct SAMAROH, and this is, I think, 15th SAMAROH what we are doing, mostly coinciding with the death anniversary of our founder. And for last 5 years we have been doing this as international event, but that is in India. We invite like Dr. Amir, 2-3 times he came to participate in SAMAROH in India, and also we have a couple of our partners in US and other countries, they also come. And this time what we thought is that we'll go to a foreign land and do it. And Dr. Amir was readily agreeable, because he's such a man that he never said no to anything. And he said, I want to see you there. They said, we can also host you, and what do you to come? That's how this is our first international seminar in a foreign land, that's not in India. And every year we invite papers from various, we have a lot of partners of different universities in different countries. People come from different countries, and mostly we get within India the papers and we publish them, and depending on the, what you call, the weight of the paper, they get their recognition. Now it's my duty to introduce my institute to you. And SSIM, Sivasivani Institute of Management, is a part of what is called Sivasivani Educational Group. And this group was established way back in the year 1961, very old group. And the campus what we have in Hyderabad, we call it as KG to PG. We have a school, a junior college, a degree college, and a management institute. The management institute was first in undivided Andhra Pradesh, because later we were divided now. As those of you are from India, you know about India. Now we are two states, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. I'm talking about erstwhile the state. And we were the first institute to have been approved by AICT, the what you call authority in India, to permit institutions to grant the particularly degrees at the PGDM level. And today our campus has got more than 5,000 students strength, ranging from a small kid to the 25 years old youngster who is doing his management program. And we have all facilities, what my friend Dr. Ramya was saying, like not only physical infrastructure, emotional infrastructure is also equally valuable. That's the reason why the board has brought us here. Okay. And we offer PGDM programs which are autonomous and recognized by AICT, and we are offering 4 types of PGDM programs, and we are also offering various certificates, diplomas and degrees from local level to international level. We have some international partners other than Lincoln University in Malaysia, like Hething University in USA, Alliance International University in California, New York Institute of Finance, USA, University of Highlands and Islands, Scotland, and Skyline University in Charlotte. And we also offer international internship to our students in many countries like Italy, China, Dubai, Malaysia, and Turkey. And the major achievement what we have to the Lincoln University is offering Lincoln University PhD in SSIM across the disciplines. Virtually all the disciplines, even though we are concerned with the management, even other disciplines also we are encouraging, and we are slowly making progress in registering the students for the PhD program of the Lincoln University with SSIM back in India. And you know, GST, Goods and Services Training, Goods and Services Tax is a major thing happening in Indian economy today. And the government of India has recognized us as one of the institutions to impart the training to all the people, general stakeholders, about the GST, and we have that responsibility also besides giving our educational programs. And we have completed our silver jubilee, and today there are approximately 4,000 management institutes in India, and we are in the top 50 in the country. And we have accreditations like NAC, and we also are a part of various governmental programs. And this SAMAROH, where we are talking more in terms of change in the business outlook under the digital era. In the next session, I'll be presenting a paper on that. One thing what I want to say is that today, in fact, it's hardly 4 days back I was in US, and I had seen 2 types of atmosphere there. I was on this side, the New York State, where there was a lot of ice, and I could hardly move because it was -20. And I went to my other son-in-law's house in the west, in the California state, a place known as Phoenix, where it was totally sunny. And in a place, that kind of place, where you find the urge to achieve something is more than any other place. Because what I mean to say is that nothing can dampen your spirit. And today technology has been making volumes and volumes. And I had one report wherein there is a lot of requirement of, let us say, data scientists today in the world. But in the US itself, a lot of business people are looking for more of data scientists, but they are not available. So now there is a very good opportunity to the educational institutes and universities to offer the new skills. In fact, AICTE has come out with new guidelines, and they also said that in India we can introduce one PGDM program known as PGDM General to bring in all the new technologies. Okay, and the new technologies, and probably now the keynote speaker will touch upon that, particularly related to digital sciences and artificial intelligence. They are in very good demand today. And how best we are going to leverage upon this kind of technologies for the growth of our business is a big key thing today. And how we are getting motivated, because we are also finding a negative thing happening. That's what is called technological disruption. When the disruption is happening, you got to switch over and adopt to the new technologies. How best are you going in terms of that? Okay, this anyhow I will discuss in my next paper. And here I would like to again thank the management of Lincoln University for giving us this opportunity and allowing us to associate with them to host this event. And I thank you all for having come here and listened to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for your wonderful thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's call upon Professor Dr. V.G. Sorry. It's my pleasure to welcome the keynote speaker, Mr. S. Chaudhary, CEO Vigilance Medical Devices Sadiran Berhad, CEO Vigilance Medical Supplies Sadiran Berhad, and CEO Vigilance Medical UK Limited. Please welcome, sir.
Pro Chancellor and College, Dr. Vice Chancellor and CEO of the Indian Institute College, Professor Dr. Amir Bhowik, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Salam Sejahtera, Selamat Pagi, and a very good morning to one and all. Before I start, there is a bit of a digital divide here. The spelling mistake, please excuse the spelling mistake of international. It was done deliberately just to make sure that the attention span is a bit longer. Yes, I'm honored actually to be up here to give the keynote address. I will try to make it as brief as possible, but there are a few areas that I would like to touch on. Being an entrepreneur, having gone through the years of struggle, but it has been very fruitful. And having said that, let's proceed. It's not very clear. Is it?
Light can be.
Not very clear.
In the light.
Two legs. Can you see that?
Off the light.
Can see, okay, great. Okay, the general change in the way business is done now and that is developing around the world. Even economists have problems actually, how to define the trends that are going to take shape. The topic today that we have is about trends. So, to be in a trend, you have to know what is going to happen the next year onwards. I think the thing is not very clear.
Zoom karo na. Eta zoom. 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 Okay. No. এরকম ডট আসছে কেন?
It's from here. From here. You won't be able to see. Got your notebook? Got your computer? Can you just give us a few minutes? I think there's a bit of a problem. Got your computer? Yes. Okay. All right, I think it's quite okay right now.
Yes. Much better. Go to slides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Change background. All right. Is it okay?
Background.
Fantastic.
It's okay.
Okay. See the problem you recommend. What is happening here? All right, anyway, let us get things going. When we have the definitions which we go by, entrepreneur, what is an entrepreneur? That's what this whole topic is about. We talk about people who are going to go take risk, as what Professor Amir mentioned. People who will spend their own money, people who will then come up and take the chances and then see what happens. Some of them are successful, some of them are failures, but that depends on how you plan yourself. When you look at another aspect of people, a group of people, that's our entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs are actually people who are actually within the organization, working for somebody, and they develop their own line of businesses, right? They're given targets, they're given jobs, and they're given portfolios, just like an entrepreneur would handle. But they have the support of the organization, and they are basically business people too. And finally, we have the solopreneurs. These people are people who actually are alone in their business. They start. Everything is just one person, and then they try and see where they go from there. I have been in that position. I have been basically working for someone as an entrepreneur that was being posted overseas and being asked to do the job. Later on, I came out and then I became an entrepreneur, solopreneur first, and then became an entrepreneur. So that was actually a growth phase of my life, going into this business. Yes. The evolution of trends transcends from thinking about the years ahead. Right? That is when we start developing ourselves. How fast do you think we can go forward, or how slow can we make it safe enough for us? Plans and goals and strategies based on new trends. Today we are talking about trends, but we are talking about portfolios, we are talking about products, we are talking about management. Now, one of the aspects of evolution is beating the competition to the finish with innovation. That is one of the areas that we seriously have to look at. If we are going to go into a business and become an entrepreneur, it is sometimes pointless just trying to be in the Me Too product lines. He makes a product, I make the product, me also make the product. I mean, at the end of the day, competition kills us. By doing something better before anyone else does, that is what the objective of this entrepreneurs start off with. And it can help in the betterment if we do it right. Sometimes we become entrepreneurs thinking that we can take all the shortcuts in the world and finally end up going nowhere. Right? Some of the biggest businesses in the world got to where they are because they were able to take advantage of being the trendsetters and the first in the job line. And that's why we have these big companies around, and even recently we have had companies which are coming in with technology that will become more disruptive. And this is a fact. Disruptive technology, disruptive innovation is now the trend. Now, the term disruptive sounds recent, but actually in 1995 this term was already there. Right? What it means basically is, it is disruptive simply because it is an innovation that uproots the established technologies, or revolutionary product services that spawns a new industry. It is happening. It is not something that we are dreaming of. And disruptive technologies are sometimes described as being both simultaneously disruptive and creative, because they can be disruptive to the existing business, but they are creative, creating new businesses. Even more specifically, the Harvard University Review, Business Review, it is mentions that it's a process whereby small companies with fewer resources can actually show tremendous innovation in this new wave of business thinking. Disruptive innovative in business as a disruptive innovation in the list that we have creates new markets and new networks. What are the new markets that we are talking about? We will go into that. Eventually, whatever happens, there is a disruption in the existing market. This technology actually displaces the established market, leading firms on products and their alliances. The graph basically shows you that Disruptive technology cuts across all planes in normal business that is going on. Technology will become more and more disruptive. Why? Because if you look at an industry like Airbnb, a perfect example of disruption. I'm sure all of you know about Airbnb. These are people, it's a very tiny startup a couple of years ago. This tiny startup came up and started taking over the hotel industry in a big way. And this, okay, think about a startup that was founded in 2008. And today, that startup, just by changing a little bit in how it offers its products, has been able to now take on the big hotel chains and it's been taking off business from it. And this is huge, but it is the same renting of rooms, the same way hotels operate, but in a different manner, cheaper, easier to manage. If you look at the chart here, you will be able to see, although it's a few years ago, but you can see that even major hotels like Marriott Hotel, right? Even Hilton is now under threat because of this new business. Now, what are the new lines of what we call disruptive technologies that is in the work right now? Apps, different kinds of apps that you have, right? The various apps that have taken over tablets, PCs, phones. I mean, these applications were in the past not there, but every one of us carry one of these here. And we have apps there which actually governs a lot of our lives. E-books. Today the bookshops are having problems because you can read your book in a tab or in a computer or on a phone. Right? Music streaming has taken over. You don't need to go and buy a record, or you don't need to go and buy a CD, nobody buys CDs actually, but you can talk to a device and say, hey Google, play me this number, and then you've got songs going on in your house, or anywhere you are. So things are changing because of the disruptive technology. Bricks and mortars. I mean, we had bricks and mortars in the past, but now you can order your food right into your house. You don't need to go to a supermarket to get your vegetables now. They come to you. Streaming of TV. I mean, you have Netflix, and you have iFlix and whatnot. So who wants to watch Astro? It's going down the drain. So things are changing, and this is the technology that is coming in. And the faster we embrace it as young ones, the better it is. Telecommunication. The big old good phone is no longer ringing. It's these handphones and all kinds of gadgets that we have. Even the current frontiers that we are looking at is robotics. In robotics, we are talking about devices, right, that can actually harness, once harnessed, can actually enhance how your life is led. Virtual reality. I mean, you have pharmacies in Sweden which can actually put you into a mask and tell you, okay, I'm going to inject you now, it's not going to be painful. And something nice is happening, right? You cannot sleep nowadays. You have these devices where you can put in your ears, which is from Bose, right? Play some nice music about sea and waves and fire cracking and all that, and you go to sleep, right? So these are things that are happening. Automation. In the US now you have a lot of automation that's going on in the field of digital automation, where wearables are now in vogue. 3D printing. 3D printing is big. If it is going to be about products which are non-medical, then you can do it anywhere you want to and market it. But if it's going to be products that are going to be used on patients, 3D printing is actually an on-site printing of a body part or a part which is going to be implanted into a patient. You don't need to go and buy this. You do it as you need it. The patient needs a part of the skull to be designed in the way it's supposed to be. You do a 3D printing on site. Dental, the dental area was one of the main areas where it started with 3D printing. Now it's escalating to all kinds of other organs that we have got in the hospital areas. And of course, drones. Drones are used in every aspect. I mean, today when we talk about drones, we're not only talking about drones which are delivering drugs and delivering essentials to faraway places, where we are talking about mini drones, which are then put into the body and they're sent to specific areas for curative reasons. Right? So all these technologies give you the opportunity, right, which the new entrepreneurs should look towards, not just the traditional way of doing business. Right? The traditional business is, he made this product, I'm going to make this product, and then we fight it out on price and kill each other. These technologies go a long way. So innovation in new technologies with the word disruption, which is in a good way, will be the way to go. In my case, when I started in 17 years ago, that's the name of the company. This is what we were. We established ourselves, corporate headquarters in Penang. And by the way, Penang is a better city than KL. The sales office is here, and we have an overseas office in the UK. Our industry is very governed, and this governance is very, very critical for us to achieve international standards. You have to be ISO certified, CE certified, otherwise, or FDA, otherwise it's a problem. But fortunately, our company is the only company in the world which has got halal certification for all their products. This has never happened before, and no one has got it done so far, but we did it. Our factory was this. That was when, the first one was when I was just a solopreneur. The second one was when I became trying to be an entrepreneur. And the third one, that was when I became an entrepreneur. We have our products, different kinds of products. We grew from scratch. We have a whole range of diabetic wound wash and wound irrigation products. We have the mesh, hernia mesh. Now, it's a world first to have an orthopedic implant coated with an antimicrobial. This is a world first. We finished a 100-patient trial in Malaysia, officially. The product is CE marked and ready to take off in Europe. We are into electrospinning, into new technologies, which is coming in, and this can be part of a disruptive technology. Question is, why did we do that? Why did we go up the change? Because we knew the changes are going to affect us. Either we change, or change will change us. Right. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Any questions? Any questions?
Any questions from the floor?
No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing those valuable information with us. Mr. Chaudhary,
Yep.
Could you please stay on the stage?
Oh, yeah.
May I now call upon Pro-Chancellor of Lincoln University College, Dr. Haja Bibi Florina Abdullah, to present the certificate to our keynote speaker, Mr. Chaudhary, accompanied by Dr. Rajalakshmi. Thank you. Dr. Bibi, can you please stay on the stage? Ladies and gentlemen, may I now call upon Dr. V.G. Chari, accompanied by Dr. Rajaleshmi, to present the memento of appreciation to our Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Haja Bibi Florina Abdullah, Dr. Amia, and to our keynote speaker, Mr. S. Chowdhury. Dr. Amia, please welcome on the stage. Dear Dr. Amia, Dr. Chancellor, Dr. Rajaleshmi, Mr. Chowdhury, and also Dr. V.G. Chari, please stay on the stage for the book releasing ceremony. May I now call upon Dr. Abhijit Ghosh, Dean, Faculty of Business and Accounting, Lincoln University College, to the stage, please. Dr. Yusuf Abu Bakar, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Students Affairs, Lincoln University College. Dr. Sandeep Podar, Executive Editor of LUC Publication, Mr. Rajagopal, to release the books from LUC Publication divisions. The books are Business, Accounting and Financial Management, Principle of Management, Strategic Management, Marketing Management, and Human Resource Management. Those books are from Lincoln University College, which is published by our Lincoln. Well done, LUC Publications.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. One more. Thank you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. One more.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to our Lincoln Publications. Dear guests on the stage, kindly stay for a moment for a photography session.
So everybody will come.
Yes,
Please join for the conversation.
all the presenters.
I think all of you can sit down and we will stand like this. They will take the photograph from this side. So that one view will go like this. Right? Please be seated on your
Dear
chair
presenters,
comfortably.
please be seated on your chair.
Yeah, the last two rows can stand so that
The last 2 rows, you
you
may
stand
stand.
wherever you are. Yes.
And stand wherever you are. The guests will be standing in front of you.
Is it okay like that? Or you want
Yeah, yeah.
You're not blocking the water is very high up. He's higher.
Stand up, stand up. Stand up.
Can of the gosh, come. This is the trend nowadays, by the way. We need to change. Otherwise, the change will change us. That's what this is. That's it. You know?
Last row, please stand up. Okay. Mr. Chia,
Last
please stand
row,
up.
can you please stand up? Mr. Chia,
front.
Ms. Lina,
Everybody can
Mr.
stand.
Manso,
All of them can stand.
Dr. Bexi, come this side.
Dr. Betsy, please come
Everybody
this
stand
side.
up. Everybody stand up.
All
can stand up.
Malaysia.
Okay?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. One more.
Did you get some smiling face or not? Huh?
Just checking, sir.
Still checking whether the smile is right there.
Okay, ready? Ready.
Alright?
Please be smile.
Now they're not going to smile.
Not yet. Nobody is smiling. It looks like that everyone is standing for funeral. Three hand, please.
Oh.
Can you show your heart like that?
Macam. Okay? That's correct. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you put the remote this way, right? Alright, then one that will stand. Stand back. No, now we will project their name and then everybody will stand and take the photo. Okay.
Attention to everyone, dear presenters and whoever present here, can you please come in front here for the photography session? May I call upon all the presenters first, all the presenters to be present in front here for a photography session with our VIPs. One line on the floor and one line on the stage. All the presenters. Kindly cooperate for the photography session.
Come please. Stand back side. One row go up, one row stand. One row go up.
One row on the floor, one row on the stage.